All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Wellness. I'm Eileen Whipple. I'm here in Gilbert, Arizona, and I am thrilled to be a part of this group because I have found such a great tribe of people who want to be well, get well, and stay well. I'm going to host tonight, and what I'm going to do is share a little bit first, and then I'm going to call on some of my friends to share their experiences with what we call activation and why it is important to us. So we are going to talk about health freedom tonight. And what that means is, to me, it means being able to do what you want, when you want, because your body is able to move and have that energy. And we're going to do that with activation and discuss exactly what that is. So are you living your dreams? Are you able to do what you want to do? I know for me, I had dreams of being outdoors, sharing with my kids through adventure and experiences, their education, but health took a turn on me and I ended up not being able to do those things and putting my dreams in the corner because my health was the priority, as that was my main focus. So are you in health prison, just making your way through life, the drudgery of it? Or are you in health freedom where you get to have choices if you have the means of getting there? Where are you and what are you being able to experience? We have so many diseases these days. We have dementia, we have ADHD, autism, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, so many disease names. But we are not going to talk about those tonight because we are not here to heal, prevent, or mitigate any diseases. So stick with me. But what we're going to talk about are the symptoms of many of these that will help possibly improve with activation, which is what I've experienced. I want to look at this tree. If we look at this tree, what is going on with it? It is missing leaves. It has its bark missing. It has a lot of symptoms, right? If you look around it, it's all green. And so you know that tree should probably be green right now. What are you going to do to help that tree heal and repair? Well, you're going to rebuild from the roots, because if you were to go back and try to work with the leaves, they're gone. If you want to work with the limbs or the bark, it's just not going to happen. So in the roots, we want to give them building blocks. Those building blocks come from water, from the sun, from nutrients and aeration, right? And then if you do that, possibly that tree's going to grow back and be flourishing again. It's the same thing with our body. We have all these signs and symptoms: allergies, fatigue, blood pressure, a weak immune system, digestion problems. I think many of us have experienced a lot of these on some level. And they're so common between a lot of the diagnoses. And that's why we really focus on what are the symptoms going on. And one way to do that is to look at how the core issue for the tree was the root system. The core issue for the body is the cells. And this is the reason why, because we have body systems that show symptoms, right? The body systems are made up of organs. The organs are made up of tissues, and the tissues are made up of cells. So just like the tree, are you going to treat the bark or the leaves, or are you going to go back to the root system? For our bodies, what are we going to treat? We're going to start at the core. So let's look at exactly what we know about cells. One, they all have the same structure across all mammals. We know that cells duplicate. We know that they live and they die and they get eliminated, and the body is designed to heal and repair. And you know that because you've had a cut and the cut heals and repairs. It's not like you told the cut to repair itself. The body did that. And that's what we want to empower, is the body. And how do we do that? So we want to look at what a healthy cell looks like. The healthy cell allows nutrients to pass in. And check this out, you guys, this is so cool. So once the nutrients get into the cell makes energy, antioxidants, immune responses, anti-inflammatories. It basically heals and repairs itself, and then it gets rid of the waste. An unhealthy cell is not able to absorb those nutrients. So therefore, it's not able to do these functions as well and as efficiently, and its elimination is inhibited. So what does that look like? This is your healthy cell. And this is the damaged cell, which we call oxidative stress, the core issue. So which cell are you duplicating? And if you have a lot of disease or a lot of symptoms going on, you're producing these oxidative stress. So how can we turn back the clock and get back here to the healthy cell? And this is what we are so excited about, because just as technology has helped us electronically by combining the computer and the telephone to make a smartphone, right? We can do that with our foods and our bodies, right? We want to be able to eat well. We want to play. We want to be outside getting that emotional connection with people. We want to sleep well. Those are all elements, but we know that the foods lack nutrients. And so we all need to supplement in some ways. So the old style of thinking was supplementation, which this is what was a part of my supplementation regimen as I was regaining my health. And then I switched to activation 7 years ago, and that's what I'm doing now. It's insane, and the exponential results. And what I want you to do is just, I can go into those in a lot of depth, but I have some other videos here on the YouTube channel. You can refer to Marco Rodriguez, and he tells a great bunch of information about the nutrition and the environment by Dr. Bruce Lipton. So I want you to imagine that you want to go from LA to New York. Now there's a few paths that you can take to get there. And these paths you can choose, right? And you can also choose your mode of transportation. We're going to compare the modes of transportation with supplements. There are lots of different choices. Some are effective, some aren't. But here's the thing that we know about all of these modes of transportation. You have to find the best way. You have to navigate it, and it's a guessing game. And that's the way it is with supplements. You have to pick which supplement your body needs. You navigate whether your body can utilize it or not, and you're guessing at your outcome. This is what is different. This is activation. Check this out. This is your self-driving car. While the car is driving to your destination, you get to do whatever you want, right? So activation is actually autopilot. And what does that look like? The body finds the best way, the body navigates, and you have a known result. So the same thing between supplementation and activation is it's both herbs, but it's what it does inside the body that makes a difference. And someone, whoever shared this with you, can go into more details of how that actually happens. But that is the information that we are looking at tonight, and why the people who are sharing their short stories tonight will be sharing how activation actually changed and improved the way that they're going. And there's more videos on this YouTube channel that you can actually look at to learn more about activation or supplementation. All right, let's get to our friends we're going to have speak tonight. So we're going to go from Carol to Greg, Kim, Jacob, Darlene, Beverly, and closing it in will be Lillian. Thanks, you guys, and go ahead and just go ahead and share.
I knew it. I knew I jumped the gun. So I have my little notes, and I'm doing this all on my phone tonight, folks. So I'm going to get to my little notes so that I don't go over. But I think one of the things that's exciting is the fact that we all are learning that our bodies can heal themselves. And when we were younger, as we were going through our lives, anyway, mine, you just kind of assume that these things are going to happen as you get older, and that you're just going to have to accept it. And that's kind of where I was. I did in 1996, I had an accident that I ended up upside down in a river. I was able to get out of that, but I ended up with some injuries that didn't show up right away, but years into it, I got to where I couldn't move, and I had several issues. I'm not going to go into a lot of them. I just had a lot of things that happened, but this injury was going to cause me to have some discs kind of put together with some plates. And prior to that, my sister introduced me to a way to learn how to heal my own body. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't understand it at the time. But a few years later, after I had found out how to activate my body, I was reminded of what I was looking forward to at that point. I was going to have to live with these few plates in my body to keep my neck up and to keep from being in pain. I'd actually had some discs that had been chipped away, and so you live with a lot of pain. And they just said, when you can't deal with it anymore, we'll put the plates in. And in the meantime, I found out how to activate my body. And so I was able to go on. And I actually forgot about it until even just a few weeks ago. Somebody was talking about it. And I said, oh, I can relate to that, because that's what happened. I couldn't move. I had a lot of, like I say, some other issues, all of which were just tearing me down. I was tired, sick, you name it. I just was kind of not fun to be around. And now I've learned to activate my body, and I am forever grateful that my sister kind of pushed me into checking this out. And so I wouldn't trade anything for the freedom I have. And you're right when you talk about, if you don't have good health, you don't have freedom. But because we have that freedom, we get to spend time with our, since you're all sitting down, I'll tell you, my 50 grandchildren. And that causes us to make a lot of trips and do a lot of traveling. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't learned how to activate my body. And that's it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Carol. And some of you should know Carol is a motorcycle rider. So,
oh yeah, motorcycle chick I am.
Yes, you are. All right, Greg. Thank you, Carol.
Carol, did you say 50? 50?
Uh-huh. I did. 50.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
We love them. It's fun. And they're all over the Four Corners states. So
wow, that is amazing. Well, my story is this. I've been a runner all my life, and I was running a half marathon several years ago. And I got to the end of it, and I had a cramp, and I went to the massage tables. They're always there at the end of these races. And I was getting a massage, and the therapist could not get a cramp out of my calf. And she was trying and trying, and I said, that's normal. I always have that. So I thought about it later, why she went and got the paramedics. I think she probably thought that it was perhaps a blood clot. I don't even know if that makes any sense. But that's the only thing I could come up with, since I never saw her again, or if I did, I wouldn't know her. And so the paramedics came over, and they hooked me up to this EKG. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I don't need that. They go, no, we're going to hook you up. They hooked me up, and they looked at it, and then they leaned into me, and they said, you got to go to the hospital. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital. And they said, you don't have a choice on this. I'm like, oh. So I went to the hospital, and they took some blood, I think, I can't remember. I was just trying to recuperate, which was very fast because they gave me oxygen and they gave me stuff to feed me. So it was a really quick recovery. So they said they thought I had a heart attack. They said my EKG had something called the tombstone blip, and my heart had exuded enzymes. So they did a echocardiogram, and it was all clear. They said I had really clear arteries, and then they shot some dye in to make sure up my femoral artery. They shot some dye in, and he said, no, there's nothing wrong with your heart. And so the doctor did some research or whatever, and he said that I had a bout of athlete's heart. And I don't know if you know this or not, but athletes, extreme athletes, distant athletes can exercise too much and cause fibrosis on their heart and eventually give themselves a heart attack. So too much exercise is not good either. So there's been Olympic athletes and distance athletes that have just fallen down dead running because they created the fibrosis, caused their own death from too much running. That's just crazy. I thought I was crazy, but that too much running can kill you, or you'll kill yourself by doing it. So I was looking around. I thought, well, what can I do? So they told me, okay, don't run half marathons anymore, and don't run fast anymore. Well, that's my thing, is that the older I've been getting, the more medals I win, because everybody else kind of fades away. So I'm like, oh, I want to keep running fast because I want to, and do half marathons. It's a perfect, it's not too short, not too long. And so I went looking around for something that could help me continue to run, and I couldn't find anything. And about that time, my cousin said, hey, I want you to watch this video. So I watched this video, and it's this ABC primetime report, and I'm like, wow, that is really cool. And in fact, I had seen it before when it first aired, and I had written it down. I'm like, I wrote this down somewhere, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And he goes, well, here it is. I'm like, all right, cool. So I looked at all the research, and I found out that the American Heart Association had been featured it in their monthly journal called The Circulation. And the study that was done, I think it was Virginia Commonwealth University, said that it eliminated fibrosis. And I was like, wow. So I thought, I'm using this. So I used it for a while, and I went back to have my EKG checked when they wanted me to. And I think it was 6 months later. And for some reason, I don't have any irregular EKG anymore. And I can run now like I did in my 30s. I can bust out. I mean, my times per mile, once I was over 50, start getting like into the 8s and close up to the 9 minute per mile if I was training on something. And now I can bust back down into the 7s, and I could even go into the 6s if I feel like it. And I hadn't done that in years. It'd been like 5 or 6, 7 years or something like that. And so and my knees don't hurt like they had before. And I had a knee injury at work that I had for a while back, and my knee just quit working one day when I was running. And it doesn't do that at all anymore. And even if I'm not really training, or if I miss some days or whatever, as long as I continue to take this, I'm good. And it's just amazing to me. I sleep better. I talk faster. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really awesome, and I love it. So it's been just a wonderful experience for me. I'll never stop taking it.
Thank you, Greg. That is awesome. Okay, Kim.
Oh my gosh, Greg, I get your enthusiasm, and I get talking ahead of yourself, because we want to share this information with people. And oh my gosh, we just have to get it out as quickly as we can. So thanks, Greg. That was, I mean, your excitement was, it's contagious. So, you know, I knew when I was born, I was born for greatness. My parents were sure to, encourage that. And I knew I was, I was a perfect human, and physically, mentally, and in every way. When I was 17 years old, I discovered that, you know what? Things weren't so perfect, and some things were happening in my body that I didn't expect. And I met my husband that year, and, I started to experience some things in my body that stopped me from playing tennis. I was a really great tennis player. Stopped me from participating in a lot of the regular life. I had to start thinking about where I was going to park when I went to class, how I was going to get to the classroom in college. Started having some, a lot of fatigue and weakness, and life became more difficult, and every thought, every step of my day, I had to think about. And so, I married that guy, and we had 2 children, and God bless him. We just had celebrated our 30th anniversary. And, but in 2013, a former neighbor called me, and she shared the gift of activation. And I thought, well, my kids are growing up. They're going to leave the house. I mean, I was dragging myself through life, and quite honestly, I was kind of done. I was done with that whole thing. I didn't have a lot of purpose. I didn't have what I thought was any purpose in life. I really couldn't participate in it. And, that one call from my angel that shared the gift of activation offered me hope, and offered me the possibility that my body could heal and repair. And fast forward to today, I am my best self, and I know what I was put on this earth to do. And I was put on this earth to share hope, and that your body can heal and repair through different, your body's a miracle. So we just need to enable your body to be as such. And I was put on this earth for greatness, and today I am fully able to reach my potential. So thanks, Eileen, for letting me speak tonight.
Thank you, Kim. And thank you, Greg. I mean, everyone, you can see having your health gives you that freedom to keep living. And I appreciate everyone sharing their stories. So we're going to go up to Idaho where Jacob is, and then we're going to go down in the Ozarks where Darlene is, and then back to Texas to Beverly. So we're going to just zigzag all over the United States. So Jacob?
Yeah, thanks, Eileen, for putting this together and giving me the opportunity to speak. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I'm using my...
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're good. So I'm outside at a baseball game, and I remember I committed to Eileen that I would speak at this. So I just pulled away from the game for a minute to come talk to you guys. I'm 41 years old, married now. My wife and I celebrated our 19-year anniversary yesterday. 5 daughters, 17 to 6. So we keep pretty busy, right? And I've been a pretty active sports person throughout my whole life. I've had some hard jobs, that have put some wear and tear on my back. Was dealing with some knee pain. Activation was presented to me at, of course, I'm talking and someone's mowing their lawn now. And so activation was presented to me in 2015. I was dealing with some foot pain from wearing some soccer cleats playing football. My foot doctor couldn't give me the answers I was looking for to resolve it. He didn't even think it was that bad. But anytime I worked out or played basketball, it would hold me back. It would flare up, and then I would be down for a week or two, and then I'd try again and not even be able to make it through anything. And it went on for 3 months doing what he suggested, after his doctor visit, and 2 months of wearing a boot in bed. And when I was presented with gene activation, as like a health approach, right? That's not just exclusive to any one company, but this was presented to me and I started using that. And by the 3rd month, I was able to play basketball without any issues and work out. I dealt with neck and back inflammation that was holding me back. I was becoming a little irritable with my daughters at times, and sometimes my wife just was dealing with health challenges, right? That creep up on us in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. I would go down the stairs because I have bad knee pain from playing basketball since I was 5. And I remember going down the stairs in my townhouse 6 years ago. And I'm just like, man, it hurts after I play basketball to just do this. And I'm only in my 30s. What's my 40s and 50s going to look like? And so it was a concern for me. And once I used gene activation and I got better sleep and better energy, working out, recovering in half the time, and like I said about my wrists, and the eye doctors watching my eyes for cataracts. And then, that wasn't an issue anymore after I started gene activation. Just all these things I'm seeing, and I'm like, people are looking for ways to control their health. And we have found some significant answers. And before I close, I'll just show you guys why it's such a big deal to me.
Got nerve too.
You see that?
Yes.
So folks, in closing, why activating the NRF2 is such a big deal, right? The medical community is all over this. So thank you, Eileen, for letting me share. And I hope some of you that are looking for answers, that this could possibly be an answer. So thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Have fun with those kids.
Hi, my name is Darlene Sorensen, and I am the person who lives in the beautiful Ozarks in southern Missouri. And I love to share my testimony about this. I didn't have a friend who told me about this. I actually had a cold call, and it came at a perfect time because I was at my dining room table praying for some answers. We were having a lot of health issues. I had a laundry list. In the Ozarks, we do a lot of canoeing and kayaking and that type of thing. And I felt as if I was going towards a cliff, like a waterfall, and I was not able to control that. Excuse me. I'm the type of person that makes everything naturally, does everything naturally, down to making my own toothpaste. So I was doing everything that I could, just about everything that is in our NRF2, I was already doing. I still drink my brain coffee, and it's because I enjoy what I put in there now. But back then I was doing everything I could to try and help the problems that I was seeing, not just with myself, but my husband. And he was having a lot of health issues. We'd been up for for 4 nights in a row. After I got that cold call and that gentleman asked me to watch the video, I went in and watched it. I signed up and I ordered and then the next 3 nights, I didn't sleep thinking about all the people I needed to share this with. I tell everyone, make a laundry list of everything that's going on, because I'm still experiencing things. I've been taking this for almost 2 years. Next month will be 2 years. I praise the Lord every day that I'm allowed to take this beautiful gift, and it is a gift. It makes such a difference in both of our lives. Anyone who's willing to try it, it does what it says. But the beautiful thing to me is that my body is different than all of the rest of yours. And when my inflammation was going on, my body knew where to go, and your body probably went somewhere else different when you started taking yours. And that is the miracle of switching, activating your own body to heal the way God created it to do, because it knows what to do. It knows where to go, and it remembers how to do it. But because of that inflammation, it's not able to get there. So this is a precious gift that you can receive. Thank you for allowing me to share my testimony. It's such a great blessing to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Darlene. Beverly?
Hi, everyone. I'm Beverly from Kingsland, Texas. And I'm so happy to be here to share my story. So when I was 18, I was in a really, really super bad car accident where the road curved, but the driver went straight and the car dropped like 8 feet and rolled back over. It caused so much trauma to my body that at the end of the day, I was not even able to stand up. And shortly after that, I had kids, and I just felt like such a failure at the end of the day. You know, all the things that I wanted to be able to do, I just had so much inflammation that the trauma to my back, I just wasn't able to be the mom I wanted to be. I was grouchy, just all the things. And when I was introduced to this, it made such a difference after I started flipping the switches. It was within just shortly after, the lowering the inflammation enabled me to do things now that I just wasn't able to do back when I was 18. It took me, I guess, 10 years after that car accident. So I had suffered for years and years. And what a difference flipping the switches made for me. I was able to stand. I had a construction company and a cleaning company. And in the beginning, it was very, very difficult. And after doing all these protocols and making the changes, I was able to do things that I wasn't able to do 20 years ago. And now I'm able to be present for my girls. And my girls have graduated from college. They're about to move. And I'm able to help them pack. I'm able to do things. I'm able to shop for the things they want for their new homes. And I'm able to be present. It just makes such a difference in my whole life. I'm excited about the future. I know that I will be able to do things with my grandkids that I wasn't able to do with my kids. And that gives me so much hope and so much excitement. And anyway, thank you so much for letting me share.
Thank you, Beverly.
Friend, I'm a dog trainer, and I do agility. So this is a fellow competitor, and I see on her Facebook feed, she's been on NRF2 for several years actually. And I see on her Facebook that she fell and then she broke her wrist. And the doctor actually suggested surgery. He says, I think we're going to need surgery. It's just like, no,
no, I don't want to do surgery. So they put her on a brace or whatever the normal procedure is. So when I see that, I immediately said what Jacob just said. I said, double up on your NRF2, because I've read studies of, bone fractures in relation to NRF2. You can go to PubMed and type that in, anything, whatever concerns you, just type oxidative stress and bone fracture, and boom, you'll see the studies there. So she did. And then a few weeks later, she calls me, she says like, oh my God, I want to thank you so much, because I went for my checkup and actually I'm totally healed. And I was released to therapy early, so much that when I go to therapy, the nurse thought it was a mistake. And she called back to the doctor's office and said, like, there's no way that he could have cleared you for therapy this early. See, that never happens. So the nurse called and they said, yeah, she's completely healed. She can go to her, she can just start with her physical therapy. So I totally agree with what Jacob said, is that putting our bodies in a position, it's not that we're never going to get sick. It's not that accidents are not going to happen, right? We have another friend that went into full sepsis, which is extremely dangerous. She was in the hospital, I think, 11 days. And we were all very worried, but down deep in my heart, I told, her best friend who is also with our group. And I said, I know her body is in a better position to fight this. And she's in her late 60s, and it was very sudden and very aggressive. She was almost like totally unconscious. I think it was like 2 days with the antibiotics before they started seeing some, positive signs. But she was totally out of it, like full sepsis in all her body. And they were really worried that it could go, really wrong. So, and then when she was released home a few days later, my friend went to see her. She's like, you know what? She looks great for what she went through. She looks really good. So, we can't say this treats, cures, mitigates, but I'm totally 100% with what Jacob said, is every single cell. We have 37 trillion cells in our body. They all communicate, 24/7, 365. The way that modern medicine is treating us is like, you go to a cardiologist, you go to a pulmonologist, you go to a neurologist. It's like they put our bodies in little compartments, but the reality is that our bodies work as a whole. Every single 37 trillion cells are talking to each other all day long. No computer in the face of the earth can handle that. And our bodies do it. So what's been said here, our bodies are a miracle, that is the truth. So it's just putting every cell in a better position. So when these challenges come, whether it's in an accident, like what happened to Jacob or my friend, or when it's a severe disease challenge, you're in a better position to respond. So we've been using activation for 8 years, all my family, all my dogs, the horse, everyone will never be off it. And we've had some, health issues, but I really think we do bounce back a lot quicker. So that's just my core belief. I totally believe in that. And I want everybody activated. Thank you.
Oh, wow, Lillian, what a great way to end this meeting. Thank you so much for sharing how being proactive in your health helps you get through those bumps and bruises that come along the way. Also, thank you for sharing that PubMed resource with us. I want to thank everybody for sharing tonight, from Carol, Greg, Kim, Jacob, Darlene, Beverly, and again, Lillian. You guys have been a great asset to share what activation is and how it has impacted your lives or the lives of your loved ones. Also, the biggest message I heard tonight with health freedom was that people want to be with family. People want to be able to play with their family, and they want to travel with their family, and they want to be there. And I want to end with just a couple more slides, because now hopefully we understand that activation is autopilot. It's using those herbs in a way that it's a combination to help your body be the autopilot it can be, for it to find its own way to help your body to get your end result of a better, healthier life. So that is supplementation versus activation. And the last thing is, I want you to know that when you go buy any of these products of activation or supplements, that you should buy them from a trusted authorized seller, which would be someone who shared this video with you, and make sure they're shipped from the manufacturer to you, because buying on Amazon, eBay, and other third parties are not authorized sellers. And then the last thing you want to look for are these seals of approval, because these will guarantee what is said on the bottle is in the bottle, which guarantees your best results that you can help for your health. So yesterday is history and tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. And thank you for being a present and being here tonight with us. So Health Freedom, Wednesday Wellness returns next week with more. Be well, get well, and stay well. And we have a Facebook group called the Biohacked Body. Feel free to join us there. Thank you and good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. And remember, one change can have an enormous effect. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell and the like, and we'll see you next time on Love to Live.